Vous écoutez Radio Panik.
Winter smiles. A solitary essence, not forged for this world. Who only knew love through death. Thank you. Oh, bless you all. I've worked in various funeral homes. And recently one in Ashwoodley, till the incident that sadly closed it.
A heart attack. You so very well deserved, you bastard!
When could you start?
Prepare yourself for this one, Sybil. Just such a waste of a life.
Excuse me. This I've always dreamed of. Beautiful family. You see, I've met someone I've rather fallen in love with, it seems. I'm gonna have a baby. Everything's all in order, don't you worry. Visiting time is over.
This is my fiancé, and I have every right to be here.
Please leave.
Maybe he's still here somewhere.
I want to find him too.
We both have our little secrets.
Did you see?
Salut, c'est Baude. Troisième interview de la journée. Je ne suis pas du tout fatigué, mais c'est un chouette beau coucher de soleil. Et aujourd'hui, je suis avec Johanne Mitchelle, réalisatrice du film Broken Birds. Alors, Broken Birds, qu'est-ce que c'est? À la croisée du macabre et du sensible, Johanne Mitchell signe un premier long métrage audacieux, porté par une héroïne aussi fragile que fascinante. Sybil. Actrice, scénariste et désormais réalisatrice, Johanne Mitchell explore dans cette œuvre gothique les zones grises de l'âme humaine, là où la douleur, l'humour noir et l'amour se frôlent dangereusement. Présenté en ouverture du FrightFest, son film Broken Bird a déjà capté l'attention des amateurs de genre comme des âmes poétiques. Donc, rencontre avec une artiste qui fait parler les morts et nous touche en plein cœur. Thank you to receiving me.
Thank you.
I wanted to say, for the moment, right now, it's my favorite movie.
Oh, thank you so much.
And of course, I've got so many questions. Sybil is such an unusual protagonist, damaged, yet resilient, tender and dark. How did she first come to you? Was it through a voice, an image, or a particular emotion?
So the whole sort of original idea of Sybil came from the short film, which we did, and which I filmed and wrote with Tracy Shields. It was actually her original idea, her original story, and then we developed it over a number of years into the film that you see now, written screenplay by Dominic Brunt. But I think for me, what was really important, Sybil never really left me after the short film, because I was intrigued to who she was and why she did the things she did and where she came from. So that was really, really important to me, and I thought about her for a long time. And so that sort of generated and materialized into the feature film. So that's how it did. And
Thank you. Your film embraced the great tradition of British Gothic cinema, but there is something deeply personal in it too. What parts of yourself did you pour into this story?
So I think that the story, you know, it deals with a few themes.
Yeah.
Themes of loneliness, themes of isolation, and obviously the theme of death.
Yeah.
And also poetry and taxidermy. You know, there's all these sort of creative outlets that Sybil uses in order to navigate her life.
Yeah.
Because she's in a lot of pain. Ultimately, there's a lot of pain buried very deep in her life from her circumstance of what happened to her as a child. So yes, I think maybe there is, you know, the more I talk about the character and the more I talk about the story and the film, the more I realize that, yes, there's a lot of me in her.
Yeah.
And, you know, as sometimes as artists or creatives, we don't always fit in. I've always never really felt like I fitted into any particular, you know, I've always felt like a square peg in a round hole, if you see what I mean. And I think that that's maybe what my fascination with her was.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really realized that until a lot of people asked me about it. So that must have just happened, you know, with the story and the character as it materialized over the years.
Thank you for the answer. Working in a funeral home, surrounded by silence and death, how did you strike the balance between the macabre, the poetic, and the darkly humorous?
Good question. So it was really important to me that there was silence.
Yeah.
It was a quiet film, and I think the silences and the pauses are really important in the film. And I think it also gives the audience time to breathe and to work things out, because there is a lot going on in this film on many layers. So that was very important. I didn't want to overscore it and over, you know, with sound effects or anything. I wanted to have that silence, because that's the silence that I suppose is death for some people. Maybe not for others. You know, it's a very personal thing. And I suppose the poetry is a way of kind of expressing a creativity, even though it's not good poetry. You know, it was kind of very tongue-in-cheek, because she's not a great poet. Let's face it. You know,
Let's be honest.
It's nothing, you know, there's nothing sort of Edgar Allan Poe or, you know, Baudelaire or anything like that. It's pretty basic poetry until the end, I think, when her poetry is, for me, is very significant. And it's very beautiful, because it's her life, and she's managed to sort of piece all the bits together at the end, which is her end, if that makes sense. And then you have the comedy, because there is a darkness to it, and British people always try to find the humor, and I didn't want it to take itself too seriously. So.
The theme of family lost, imagine, rebuild feels central. What vision of family were you hoping to explore through Sybil's journey?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
The theme of family lost, imagined, rebuilt feels central. What vision of family were you hoping to explore through Sybil's journey?
Yes. So it was really, it was really important to me that grief is explored, and everyone experiences grief in different ways, and there's no right way or no wrong way. And, you know, if we could have a solution in a little bottle to take and it would all be okay, you know, it would, someone would make a lot of money. But I think, for me, I was interested in how people deal with it, because all the characters, well, obviously Sybil is the main character, Emma is another supporting character, and Mr. Thomas, they've all lost somebody, but they're dealing with it in very different ways. And I wanted to explore that. And you didn't have to be, you know, a policewoman who Emma is on the face of it, she's a policewoman. She's a confident, strong woman, but she has lost something and she is broken from the grief. Mr. Thomas can't let go of his grief because he keeps his wife, and that is that's
his secret.
That's his secret. And yes, I suppose. You know, and Sybil has her secrets as well, and she deals with death in a very different way. For her, it's a positive, because that's what she's learned through her own tragedy and trauma. And yeah, I was just interested, and then they all connect. They all connect on some level within the story, and they. Yeah, so I suppose that was really what I was interested in, but each character is so important. I mean, obviously Sybil is the main character, and it's her story, it's her journey, but Emma, who is all equally as important in her journey, and so is Mr. Thomas, and so is Tina, and to a certain extent Mark. I mean, everyone is affected by death in some shape or form, whatever it is. And I wanted that connection. We're not all the same. We don't deal with it the same. And I thought it was colourful as well for me to work with it in different ways.
The film's visual atmosphere is both eerie and mesmerizing. What were your aesthetic or cinematic inspiration in crafting this haunting world?
Okay, good. So yes, I loved this because I made quite a detailed lookbook visually of what I wanted the film to look like and the tone of the movie, which I presented to my DOP and obviously the production designer. And I took a lot of inspiration from Del Toro, from, you know, I suppose, The Orphanage. I love his work. So he's because he has a magical quality to his work as well as a very dark side as well. You know, Pan's Labyrinth and films like that, because there's a magical quality to it. There's a fairy tale quality to it, and I love that. I love the film Amelie's. There's a definite, I suppose, aesthetic resemblance with Sybil and Amelie, and there was a British film called Saint Maud, which I loved the darkness of that, and there's a kind of the realism. So, you know, obviously I love, you know, Hitchcock and all of those incredible filmmakers, Kubrick. So I kind of maybe inadvertently stole from them, as you do, because you watch these movies and you don't realize you're doing it, but you're constantly nicking their ideas. But I think in my lookbook there was a lot of Del Toro, there was a lot of, you know, Saint Maud, there was even a little bit of Hammer, you know, there's elements of that as well, with the sort of the creepiness, but the sort of undertones of dark comedy, I suppose, tongue-in-cheek, satire, I suppose.
For me, it was a good mix of everything.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you picked up on that. Thank you.
I have to stay neutral.
What did you say?
I have to stay neutral, but I'm not.
Oh, yes, of course.
So, your secret sauce got the film picked to open FrightFest. What do you makes Sybil stand out in today's horror and genre landscape?
So yes, it did open FrightFest. Thank you. It was a real accolade to do that, and I was really proud for the whole crew and the cast and the whole production crew and team. For me, I just wanted to make a film that I was really passionate about.
Yeah.
And story and character is really, really important to me. And I felt like I really wanted the audience to be questioning and asking themselves questions and thinking about the film after they'd finished watching it, because there's a few open doors and closed doors, but there's a few threads that aren't resolved, you know?
Yeah. Yes, I know.
So I didn't want to sort of tie everything up beautifully with a bow. I wanted people to be slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to walk away feeling like, I like her, but I shouldn't. You know?
I see what you mean.
I like this character, I feel something, but I really shouldn't. And I think that's what we struggle with as human beings on a day-to-day basis, with people, with circumstances, and nothing is real sometimes. Yeah. You know, what my reality will be different from your reality.
Of course.
So I wanted it to sort of be, open and I think that's what I'm wanting to say. I think that was
And already last questions. Sybil talks to the dead, but her longing is profoundly human. If audience were to walk away with just one feeling or idea, what would you want it to be?
Good question. I feel ambiguity. I feel I want the audience to be questioning, to have a certain amount of confusion, but to also feel that they've been taken on hopefully a really interesting journey.
Yeah.
And to really be immersed in the storytelling, and to forget about their life for an hour and a half, but to be immersed in another person's journey and come out thinking about it. You know, that's what storytelling's all about. That's what cinema's all about. But I really want people to want to watch it again. Yeah. Just because they might have questions. And as I said, I think it's, some people might be dissatisfied because it doesn't tick all the boxes. Yeah. But I don't think things should, because life never does. So, I want people to feel an emotion when they come out, and to feel emotion and to talk about it, to ask questions.
Thank you so much for the questions.
Thank you.
So, I've got also wrote my own conclusion, and I'll say in English. With Sybil, Johanne Mitchell doesn't just revisit Gothic tropes. She infused them with raw melancholy, tender morbidity, and powerful emotional clarity. This is a film that speaks to our inner ghost as much to our desperate need for correct connection. Death may surround the story, but it's life twisted, intense, imperfect, that triumphs on screen. A powerful debut from a filmmaker we'll definitely want to watch closely.
Thank you so much. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Voilà, petite conclusion. I'll say in French. Avec Sybil, Johanne Mitchell ne se contente pas de revisiter les codes du gothique. Elle y insuffle une mélancolie, une crue, une tendresse morbide et une lucidité bouleversante. Un film qui parle à nos fantômes intérieurs autant qu'à nos espoirs les plus fous. Si la mort est omniprésente, c'est surtout la vie tordue, intense, imparfaite qui s'impose à l'écran. Et c'est là toute la force de cette cinéaste à suivre de très près. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Vous écoutez Radio Panik.